Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here. Alright, and continuing these Superman and Batman movie reviews, is coming back to Superman. Now, here's my review of Superman Returns. Yeah, people feel like kind of mixed about this movie. Yeah, the reception is kind of mixed about it, yeah. Some people have said it's really good, others have said it's another, like, bad Superman movie. Yeah, for me, it's kind of, eh. Yeah, overall, it's not really bad, but just it does have like quite the number of problems. Yeah, yeah. This movie is kind of like both a sequel and a reboot of the original Superman movies. Because it does like yeah, it does act as a sequel to the events of the first two Superman movies, but it ignores the events of 3 and 4. Yeah. Well, yeah, there is some kind of, some people may like kind of say this is like actually a sequel to all four of the movies. Yeah, like I've seen Nostalgia Critic kind of talk about it before, say how this kind of has some continuity errors from like Superman 4, like Clark's mother still being alive. Yeah, but yeah, it actually, this movie like I said, it acts kind of as a reboot of the movies. He's by like it kind of acts like 3 and 4 didn't really happen. So the movie is like definitely like a step up from 3 and 4. Yeah, 3 and 4 just sucked. Yeah. This one was definitely an improvement over those two movies. But yeah, I can't quite say this is as good as the first two Superman movies. Yeah. And another problem with this is like Superman and Lois Lane in this movie, they look way too young. They still look like teenagers in this movie. I remember when I went to the theater to see this movie, I kind of thought that this was kind of like this movie was in connection with the Smallville show because Superman and Lois Lane looked so young. And Brandon Roth and Kate Bosworth. They're not like Nostalgia Critic said. He put this like in his top 11 dumbest Superman moments. Brandon Roth and Kate Bosworth, they're not horrible in the roles, but they just look like teenagers. I mean, he's kind of so like this kind of seems more like a school play because of how young they are. And he's kind of right. This does kind of feel like more like a school play when you see Superman and Lois Lane together. Or with Christopher Reeve and Margaret Kidder, they actually made you think you were actually seeing like a real Superman and Lois Lane. With this, you really don't. Yeah. Yeah, but they're not really bad. It's just miscasting. A lot of the other cast members in this movie I think are pretty good. Yeah, I do like Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor. Frank Langella as Perry White, I think, is just fine. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. The rest of the cast is just fine, I guess. Yeah. And also like some of the, I feel like a lot of the action scenes in this movie, I feel like they just get forced upon us because they seem to go on like just too long, and it's just like they're just trying to force all the action upon us. Yeah, yeah, the action scenes just go way too long, and I really think that's another con for this movie. If they would have like cut these down and not like make them get like forced upon us after a while, well, it would have been just fine. I think I would have liked this movie more. I am kind of like half and half about this movie. My feelings are mixed to it. I kind of like have a thumbs in the middle to it. Not really bad, but But yeah, just because of like all the problems this movie has, I just feel like really mixed on it. Yeah, and so I would give it probably, I don't know, 2.75 stars out of 4. Yeah, yeah, I mean, just, yeah. You just have, like, a lot of pros and a lot of cons about the movie. So, yeah, and, yeah, some people will, like, have complained about the Superman suit in this movie, how it looks really dumb. I don't really mind this Superman suit that much. I mean, I think it looks just fine, and plus it's a whole lot better than the ugly suit in Man of Steel. I mean, that suit just is hideous. Yeah, so I mean, at least this suit was better than that. So, yeah, yeah, I mean, yeah. And so, yeah. Now, that's just something else I felt I should touch upon. Alright, so yeah. Yeah, let me just get right into it. Right. Well, the concept of this movie is like Superman has been missing from the city for several years, yeah. And the movie still opens up like the other, well, like 1, 2, and 4. Yeah, you still have like the credits in space. Ace, and yeah, you have still have like the John Williams score. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then it shows Lex Luthor, and he's married like a rich old woman, and she eventually passes away. And it turns out that Lex Luthor only married her in order to obtain her fortune when she dies. Yeah, and it's later pointed out that Lex Luthor had been released from prison because Superman failed to appear at his trial. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, because of Superman's failed attempts in his quest to locate any surviving Kryptonians, and Superman then returned to back to Earth, and then yeah, he came back to his parents' farm in Smallville, and yeah, his mom took him in for a little bit, and then yeah, it's shown that Lex Luthor then arrived at the Fortress of Solitude, and then he stole some Kryptonian crystals. Well, then while doing that, he there was one of the messages from Jor-El. Yeah, yeah, and it turned out that Lex Luthor was stealing these Kryptonian crystals, well, to use in an experiment, and yeah, his experiment was to like cause a power outage in the East Coast. Yeah, and meanwhile, Clark then like resumes his job at the Daily Planet, and yeah, Jimmy, he is like glad to see Clark back. Like, yeah, yeah, and then yeah, it's like Jimmy is trying to bond with Clark some more. Yeah, and then Clark finds an article that Lois Lane had made. And yeah, it was entitled "Why the World Doesn't Need Superman." And yeah, it turned out that Lois had won a Pulitzer Prize for the article. Well, yeah, yeah. And then it's showing that Lois is actually on a shuttle, and she's covering a story about a space shuttle being launched into space. And yeah, then as Luthor conducts his experiment, the power then goes out, and it interferes with the flight test of the space shuttle. And then yeah, then the shuttle just like breaks down, and then it starts to just go down. And then yeah, then Clark then does arrive as Superman. And I should also say like the effects in this movie are like also like they are improved from the original 4 movies. Yeah, like the flying effect does look a lot better in this movie. Yeah, because yeah, in the originals, it was like the effect did look kind of like it did look pretty cheap. I mean, you could tell like it was just like a Like, he wasn't really flying. Here, it does look a lot more realistic, as if he is really flying. Yeah. And yeah, Superman was able to stop the shuttle from actually crashing down. And then, yeah, he's able to stop it right before it's about to crash into a baseball stadium. Yeah. And then the world is like rejoiced to see Superman back. Heck yeah. And then Clark eventually learns that Lois has a new fiance, Richard, or who is actually the nephew of Perry White, Clark's boss at Daily Planet. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and it turned out that they have a 5-year-old son, Jason, yeah. And Clark is, like, having some trouble actually coping that Lois has a new fiance now. Yeah. Yeah. And then, later on, like, Lex Luthor stole a piece of kryptonite from the Natural History Museum in Metropolis, but Superman was busy by stopping not a controlled vehicle, which was actually a diversion by Kitty Kowalski, who was Lex Luthor's partner in crime. Yeah, Superman was distracted by that, and yeah, he stopped that, and Lex Luthor easily stole the piece of kryptonite. Right? Yeah. And then later on Perry then assigned Lois to interview Superman and about why he's been gone so long and what he's been doing. And yeah, he also assigned Clark to investigate what actually caused the blackout. And then yeah, it shows later on that as Lois is interviewing Clark. Oh, not Clark, sorry, Superman. Yeah. Yeah. She interviewed Superman, and yeah, he was telling her what he was actually doing as he was gone. Uh, and why he was, yeah. Yeah, and then he took Lois flying again, but thankfully, this movie didn't copy the flying scene from the first movie like the fourth one did. Yeah, so yeah, at least the flying scene here was more original. Yeah. Yeah, and then, yeah, he eventually brought her back to the Daily Planet. And yeah, they were about to kiss, but Lois, like, stopped herself since she now, had a fiance. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and then, yeah, later on, Lois and Jason, like, accidentally boarded a yacht that was actually Lex Luthor's, and yeah, he ended up capturing them. Um, as Lois was trying to, like, investigate more about the blackout. And then, yeah, she, like, was connecting it to Lex Luthor's experiment. And yeah, and then Luthor told the two of them about his scheme to revealing the power. And then, yeah, he pulled out a piece of kryptonite. And yeah, he noticed that Jason and had, like, kind of a slight reaction to the kryptonite. Right, yeah. And yeah, Luthor asked Lois who Jason's father is, and yeah, Lois told him that Richard was the father. There, yeah. Yeah, and then, yeah, Luthor told them his scheme that combining one of the stolen crystals with the kryptonite, and yeah, he would be able to, like, grow some landmass in the northern part of the Atlantic Ocean, and it would cause sea levels to rise and give him opportunity to have his revenge on Superman, and kill billions of people, and it would give him full control of the land, and for survivors and Kryptonian technology. Yeah, and as he left to start up his master plan, and Jason started to play the piano, and Luther's henchman that was watching over Lois and Jason started playing the piano with him, and then Lois was trying to fax a note for help to Richard. But then the henchman eventually caught her, and he was starting to attack Lois, but then Jason ended up throwing the piano at the henchman and killed him. And then this actually revealed that Jason was actually the son of Superman. Yeah. Yeah. And then some other henchmen then broke in and saw what happened, and then they locked up Lois and Jason. And it turned out that Lois's fax had gotten to the Daily Planet, and Jason was trying to track down actually where Lois and Jason were. And then Clark then and headed out as Superman, and then as Luthor's plan was like causing destruction in Metropolis because of his growth in the landmass. As Superman was busy like stopping some of the destructions, and it took him forever to get to Lois and Jason, but Richard eventually arrived on a seaplane to save Lois and Jason as the yacht was sinking. And then as they were trying to escape the yacht, Lois got knocked out by a door that ended up closing on her head. And then the yacht started to sink, but then Superman eventually arrived and helped them out of the water, or back into the seaplane. And then Superman went to find Lex Luthor. And as he got to Lex Luthor's new landmass, Superman discovered that it was actually filled with kryptonite, and it caused him, of course, to weaken. And Luthor and his henchmen and easily beat Superman down. And then Luthor then stabbed Superman with a piece of kryptonite right in the back, then broke it off. And then that of course caused Superman to weaken even more. And then he was like trying to stand and fight, but he just ended up just staggering, and he fell right into the ocean. And then Lois could kind of sense that something was wrong, so she made Richard turn the plane back to save Superman. And they ended up recovering him from the water. And then she was able to remove the piece of kryptonite from his back. Superman regained his consciousness, and he regained his strength from the sun. And he then covered up the landmass with other layers of earth to cover up the kryptonite. But Luthor and Kitty were able to escape in a helicopter. But Kitty wasn't willing to have billions of people die, so she tossed away all of the crystals that Luthor stole. And then Superman then was able to just push the landmass back into space with the crystals inside. But all of the kryptonite in the landmass just caused Superman to pass out again, and he just crashed right back down to Earth. And he was then rushed to the hospital. And the doctors were able to remove some of the more pieces of kryptonite from his wound. But everything that they were trying to use to revive him ended up just being damaged or destroyed, and then Superman just ended up remaining in a coma. And then it showed later on that Luthor and Kitty were actually stranded on a desert island because their helicopter ran out of fuel, and now they're stuck there. Then, Jason and Lois visited Superman back in the hospital. And then, Lois then ended up kissing Superman before her and Jason then left, and then Superman later on awoke. And then yeah, he flew to Lois's home, and visited Jason as he was sleeping. And yeah, he recited Jor-El's speech that he made before, or to Jason. And then yeah, it showed Lois was writing another article that was titled "Why the World Needs Superman" to make up for her article on why the world doesn't need him. Then yeah, Superman told Lois that he will be around, and he is back to stay. Yeah, and yeah, then it just showed him just flying into space and just gazing down, similar to like the other four movies, and that's how the movie ended. So yeah, 2.75 stars out of 4. Like I said, not really bad, just a lot of like kind of discontinuity because like of like what this movie is like. It like it acts as a reboot, but yeah, it's just like it does continue on from the first two films, but yeah, it reboots from 3 and 4. So yeah, just because of all the discontinuity, because of like all the like reboot stuff, and just some of the casting decisions, and like the battle scenes I said, or action scenes, yeah, just because of how like forced they could be because of how long they go. I mean, yeah, it just kind of takes away from it. So yeah, but like I said, definitely a step up from 3 and 4. So yeah, just like I said, thumbs in the middle. Alright, so yeah, that does it for my review of Superman Returns. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. And up next, we'll get back to Batman as we review the Christopher Nolan trilogy. Yeah, so yeah, reviews for these movies coming up next, so stay tuned. Alright, but yeah. Alright, so that does it for my review of Superman Returns. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.